So Via Rail train's gone. So after that was all smoothed out and prepped again, then I went ahead yesterday and fiberglassed in some chop strand matting and some thickened epoxy resin in here in these surfaces. And then I've this morning ground them as flush as I can, which they're still a little low, which is fine because I'm going to come in with a thickened layer to put the skin on. I will sand all these edges. Everything in the middle's been sanded. Once that's all sanded, so I'm happy, then I will go ahead and acetone everything down so it's clean, and then I will wet this surface out with unthickened epoxy again, and wet the skin out with unthickened epoxy, so that's the top of the skin, so I'll flip it over and wet it all out. Then I'll mix up a quick batch of thickened, spread it all in nice and thick, put this in, and then my plan is to use some fender washers and some small screws, 1/2-inch screws, that I can go through the skin on top into this and hold it in place in a few strategic spots, and then put all my weight back on. And the only thinking there is that I don't want anything moving overnight until this thing sets. Before I go though, and before this is solid, I will then back those screws out and get rid of them so that the skin is in and down and secure. And I'll back them out because if I left them and they were epoxied in and I went to take them out the next day, they'd snap off. And then I'd have these embedded screws. So once that's all on, as I said before in a previous video, I will go ahead and I'll dish. I will grind that whole bevel between the two surfaces, and then that'll all get filled in with a little bit of epoxy resin and some fiberglass. Smooth that all out, and then I'll be going ahead and applying a non-skid to the whole deck surface so that it covers up my sins here, and it also makes this all nice and new and in good shape. And I'll just take a quick jump up to the other side because this is the starboard side. Ugh. And where I'm at on the port side is everything I just said, except I have to go ahead and fill in the 3 chain plate areas this morning, let those set up. While this is curing or starting to cure and my screws are in place, I'll come over here and I'll do those 3, and then I'll go back, take those screws out, and then I'll come back over here, and when I'm happy with this, I'll start to prep it for the skin. And I'm hoping to get the skin on this today, so that by the end of Thursday I've got both skins on, and all I have to do really is just the outer seams, and then we should be in good shape for launch. Okay, back at you soon.